Right. Hey, good morning. Good afternoon in South Africa, and good morning somewhere, and good evening in the other continents. Here today we're gonna talk about the credit bureau, the credit listing. Um, as a consumer, what is your right when it comes to credit bureau? In South Africa, we have what we call credit bureaus, and I believe globally it's existing. So we have National Credit Act, which establishes a statutory body called National Credit Regulator, and then the National Credit Act also provides the establishment of credit bureaus. Credit bureaus are regulated by the National Credit Regulator. So the list of credit bureaus we have in South Africa, I'm not going to mention names. You're gonna look for them. Um, you as a consumer have a right to query your credit profile. Firstly, every consumer have a credit profile. What is a credit profile? A credit profile, it's your life CV, your information, personal information. For an example, your address, where you have credits, what credits do you have, and it shows your behavior on how you pay delays, how much credit you have, and credit cards, motor vehicle finances, um, uh, mortgage bonds. So if you mess up to pay for any debt you have with the credit provider, for an example, let's say you have a personal loan, you skip payment by 1 day and you pay the following day or you pay after 7 days. The credit provider or the bank will report that on a credit profile that you are a slow payer, and that may impair your ability when it comes to applying future debts. When I say it will impair, I mean that it won't be ground to refuse granting you a credit, but it may affect your annual interest when it comes to the application of a credit. Sometimes consumers will have listing at the credit bureau of adverse information of something which they don't know. It might be fraudulent because we know the people impersonating our information, applying for credit. We know those gaps we have in our credit industry, and yeah, we're not no one is immune to that. So, what are your rights? Your right is to dispute that in terms of the National Credit Act. You have a right to dispute the listing, and the credit provider will list that you have to investigate that after you have disputed with the credit bureau. The credit provider will investigate, and then if it's fraud, then they confirm it's fraud, and thereafter it have to be removed from a credit profile. And then my recommendations are always that when that is removed, you register under a specific credit bureau, which have a protection of your personal information or identity when it comes to credit application. Southern African Fraud Prevention Bureau, they do that. They know time when an application of credit is done on your name, it will uh, notify you to confirm that really is you, and they will issue you with a letter to confirm that. So anyone who will attempt to do application without and it's not you, then it won't happen. Then another thing is you can be listed at the credit bureau. For an example, you are a slow payer or you skipped paying for a specific period. It's not a death sentence. People happen to have this big problem that they're listed in credit bureaus, their life is stuck. You have a right when you have settled all your debts It's either you have done it through debt counseling, which I will give the topic of debt counseling on another day. Today, we're talking about adverse listing or credit bureau or blacklisting on the street language. Um, so you have a right to contact the credit bureau and indicate that this is your paid up letters, this is your rescinding order if you are under that counseling, so that they update your credit profile so that you can able to continue to live, to buy a house, to buy that dream car. But be careful in managing your life credit because it's very important. There will be time where you need credit to assist you and it's critical or it's emergency and you find that your credit profile is dirty. Another question is, can anyone list me at the credit bureau or list adverse listing at the credit bureau? The answer is no. Only those who are registered with the National Credit Regulator, they are regulated by the SAR, that and there's a code of conduct for doing it. You cannot, if you're not a credit provider, you cannot list me. If you are not a credit provider, you cannot do adverse listing. Omashonis are the one who's not registered with the NCR or National Credit Regulator cannot list a consumer in the credit bureau. So you shouldn't be intimidated by the loan shark who doesn't have the right to list you. I'll answer that one. Kata mina nitamfonela neka calling one. Ciao. Sorry about that. So the person who's not registered with the NSR cannot list you at the credit bureau. Does not have a right to list you. So know your rights as a consumer that you can be listed as the credit bureau. Many people do not understand that credit bureau is a it's where your profile is. Everyone have got a profile. So it's like home affairs. Home affairs have your ID, your information, your address. So even the credit bureau have the same thing with you. So it will list everything you have done there. Your addresses, your credits. If you don't have credit, your name, yes, will be there as a consumer. But if you have credit and it's in good standing, your name still will be there at the credit bureau. But it does not have adverse listing. Adverse listing, it means information which will affect or impair your ability to get credit. If you get credit, it will also affect you to get lower interests when it comes to, let's say, you go for motor finance. Some people will get the prime rate, and then you get the above. You go to for personal loan, some people will get 15% and then you get 27%. So the risk, it enhances the risk for that. So if your credit profile is maintained in a good scoring point, it makes sure that you, when you apply for credit, you get a good interest. And as well, no one will deny your credit saying that until you pay this account, we are going to. And also assist the credit bureau, the credit provider, to do what we call affordability assessment to show to see what do you have, how much I pay every month, how much do we left with. So my people, that is for today, the 11th of November, 2022. That is my information regarding credit bureau. or adverse listing or blacklisting. You shall have yourself a wonderful day. Thank you.